Story 1. There's a church near me that has a sign up asking for donations for a new roof. They've been asking for so long that it's all faded and you can barely read it. I get them a nice new sign. Story 2. That's a lot. I would get a finance person. My first priority would be to sell my house and buy a larger property with some land. Also, look into hiring cleaners and landscapers. Make a long-term plan to ensure the money will support this throughout my life. Then mostly just live. Engage in some philanthropy. Make a small hiking trail on my property and grow a garden. Story 3. $50 million for living expenses and settling debts of friends and family. Certain people will not have medical expenses for the rest of their lives. My folks won't pay another bill for the rest of their lives. $250 million to be invested and will be generational wealth for as long as it lasts, and I will live off the interest. 60 to 70% of the dividends will go towards no-kill animal shelters, food banks, local churches, and any other place that can do the most good for the community. Story 4. Wonderful 11-year-old comment thread about why winning the lottery is genuinely terrible for you and ways to try and mitigate some of those dangers. Story 5. Purchasing a private island and christening it Money Island would be my first step. Since I cannot cook, I would then engage a personal chef to prepare all of my meals. Naturally, I would give back to my community and assist people in need with my newfound wealth. Story 6. I'd build an Animal Crossing village in a desolate area and invite all of the people I like most to come chill and drop out of society with me. Like a little cult community of tiny homes without the religion and abuse. Story 7. I would start a small business restoring cars for my own personal use. 99% of people around me would probably think I had died because I didn't come out anymore. Story 8. Annuity, modest house, drive a hoopty, get a nice boat, take a deep breath and sigh. Hang loose for a year or two, meet some new people, travel, tell people I made my money through investing, and then go back to work and try to make the world a better place with the blessing I've been granted. Story 9. Stay anonymous. Get a lawyer and financial advisor. Set aside enough to help pay for my kids' college. They still have to drive an ugly hoopty for a year or so. Invest. Create nest eggs for the kids and grandkids if that happens. Travel the world with my wife and make sure she has the best experiences. Invest. Story 10. Create foundation trusts for my favorite charities so they can operate into perpetuity. Buy some land and build a variety of houses on it for my friends and family to live in. Think self-sustaining community, not cookie-cutter suburban houses. Install a hair-washing sink in my house and have someone wash my hair once a week. Travel and find people doing amazing work in the world, and donate to their cause to help them gain more traction, especially those working with children and animals. Story 11. I'm moving to the country, going to eat a lot of peaches. Oh sorry, serious answer incoming. I'm moving to the country, acres and acres, and I'll plant a variety of fruit trees. Story 12. Lock $299 for a year in a fixed deposit that pays interest. And enjoy the $1 million a year while deciding what I have to do with my life from there onwards. Story 13. I would buy a really nice homestead and farm, buy my girlfriend an engagement ring, and take care of my parents, grandparents, and younger siblings. I would then use my land to give tours of my farm, sell my crops and baby animals, and live a humble farm life with my family. Story 14. $60 million in iShares Core S&P Total U.S. Stock Market ETF, and the rest in Fidelity Investments Money Market Treasury only institutional class, which has a $10 million minimum. Live off a fixed amount per year, probably $240,000 per year, $20,000 per month. I figure I won't actually spend that much, so for following years I'll only need X thousand to have $240,000 in the bank. Interest from the bank account and credit card cashback will lower what I need. For simplicity, I just have 1 or 2% cashback credit cards from different issuers in case I ever have a problem with one. Buying a house, not a super mansion. A new car, not a car guy so it won't be a Maybach or something crazy. Furniture, and new clothes wouldn't count out of the annual $240,000. Then I would travel. Maybe get a high-end camera instead of using my iPhone for everything. Don't know if I'd get a MacBook Pro. I want to check out the nano texture display. Story 15. If I won $300 million, I would make sure my loved ones are taken care of, invest wisely, and set up a few charities. I would travel, live comfortably, but try to stay grounded and not let the money change who I am. Story 16. 100-acre landscaped dining experience where guests are transported from setting to setting. Although it would not be kaiseki cuisine, it would be those traditional types of locations. A tea house on a pond where specialty herbs are grown, and they are infused in the food and drink. As such and so forth with the remainder of the property. Apple dishes served in some way in an orchard and so forth. Each course would be served in a different setting. I don't even care if I lost money. It would be the most serene sensory experience. Story 17. I would pay off my debt and give some money back to my family because they have always supported me. I would buy more land and have lots of farm animals and would live off that, not have a job, just a small farm so that I still have things to do. Story 18. Donate generously to causes that matter, such as climate change and healthcare, and then just relax. Travel, help friends out, and never work a 9-to-5 job again. Money is only worth it if you're making life better for people, not just accumulating it. Story 19. I would simply live out my dreams of building drag cars and jet boats. I would have built for myself a ridiculous barn-dominium with a 4-to-6 car garage and then a monstrous accessory structure for working on all my toys. I would build myself an offset smoker and a crazy bar for all of the boys to come over every weekend to eat and drink. All of this would be on about 10 acres right outside the outskirts of developed suburbs by a city of my choice. This $300 million might last me 5 to 10 drag racing seasons or summers. $50 million would be set aside to generate wealth for my posterity and income for when I inevitably blow whatever $300 million, minus taxes. Story 20. Pay student loans, buy property throughout Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, travel with family, buy houses for family and friends, invest a lot of it, do pro bono legal work, and try to become a real estate developer. Also, buy some sort of supercar. Story 21. Other than buying a house for me and my husband and my mom and her husband, my sisters-in-law and their families will most likely get one as well, and giving them enough so they don't have to worry about money anymore, I wouldn't really change a thing. I'd just be happy that all the stress is over. However, I might hire a person to help with chores. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder keeps me busy. Story 22. I would buy a house, put some in an account for each of my children, give some to my siblings and my mother, take a nice vacation, open a business, and enjoy life. Story 23. Sell my house, move the heck out of Florida, get some acreage on a lake up north somewhere and start a nice orchard and garden. Make a big old space for my dogs to run and my cats to enjoy. Get a nice boat for fishing, upgrade my personal computer, then invest the rest in dividends and bonds to grow it and live off the income there. Story 24. Invest some of it, give to family and friends, donate to animal shelters, then live a life of peace and quiet where I occasionally travel. No big or extravagant purchases. Story 25. Invest enough to provide a comfortable living income return, then invest in small businesses or projects with people I believe in and care about who have been negatively affected by the corporate structure but are genuinely good people. I'm perhaps unusual in that given the freedom to, I would actually be more productive being able to do what I'm passionate about with people I enjoy doing it with. Sure, I take the occasional vacation, but too much time off I actually find dull. The freedom of having that much money would be freedom to do more work and projects creatively that I actually enjoyed. And I'd get a second passport and move overseas. Story 26. Invest some, save some in high-yield savings accounts, save some in banks abroad, clear off loans for immediate family, buy real estate all over the country, save for kids' college fund, enjoy the rest with spouse. Story 27. Pay off what little I owe in debt. Set up a trust for my children. Buy some modest vacation condos abroad while gaining permanent resident status in foreign countries. Book some cruises and try to hit all 7 continents. Start a handful of companies and let other people better suited run them. Set up a lift in my garage, go to automotive school, buy a basic model Porsche, and do all of the maintenance myself. Nothing extravagant. My lifestyle is already enough for me. Not trying to go to those celebrity parties or roll with that crowd. No drug addictions to worry about destroying my life. No addictions to brand names or jewelry. I might go with a private jet timeshare to skip airport security forever, or just sail and take trains to my destinations. I don't really want things, I want experiences, and that is so much less expensive. I'd give most of it after death, I think, to St. Jude or something. Story 28. I have genuinely thought this through, despite never buying a lottery ticket. I would pay off all of my family's mortgages. I want my nieces to have financial stability through their childhoods, and it would make such a difference to their lives. I would take a year off work and travel to every Formula One race on the calendar, with paddock passes, live it up, and focus on myself. I would take my family on a huge holiday. I would set up trust funds for each of my nieces for education needs, housing at university, etc. I would gift each of my siblings $5 million and let them do whatever they want with it. I would gift my parents a huge chunk of money. I would buy a large house somewhere quiet. I would then invest the rest and probably go back to work 2 to 3 days a week just for something to do. Story 29. Finally buying the 3,000-acre ranch 25 miles from me. 15 million. Develop it some, invest at least 200 million of it. Live the rest of my days never having to see another soul in one of the most beautiful places on earth. Story 30. Pay taxes on it so I don't have to worry about the Internal Revenue Service throwing me in jail. Then set aside half of that in a trust fund so that when I marry and have kids, my family has a nest egg or savings so they don't have to worry about the future. Pay off my debts, my parents' debts, and their mortgages. Have their houses fixed up. Considering how much all of that costs, it won't be much. That would leave me with $72 million. Enough for me to live off just the interest for the rest of my life. I'd get a financial person to help me figure out what to do with the rest, and then after that, retire, move out of the United States, bring my family and friends with me, and then basically do whatever I want. Based on current United States dollars, I'd set my cost of living as $40,000 to $50,000 a month total for myself and my family, so I'd be living the dream with that much money. Story 31. Okay, 300 million. So, after tax, let's just say you take the lump sum and end up with, 150 million. First, pay off the house for around 250,000. I would like to think I would give 10% to charity. Whether I could actually bring myself to do it, I don't know. But let's say I do, so we're down to 135 million. If I invest it and get 5% returns annually, I now make something like 500,000 a month in interest. From there, I try not to let anyone know while still helping them. I still charge my roommate for bills, but actually just invest it so I can give it all back when we go our separate ways. I would find a way to pay off my parents' home without them knowing who it was. After that, probably just continue to donate the majority of the interest. Story 32. I would spend my days with my kids and aging parents. I do have a demanding job now, but that's basically how I prioritize all the free time I have now anyways. Story 33. Stay quiet, quit my job, maintain my lifestyle, take care of my immediate family, invest the rest, and then go back to college for mechanical engineering so I can eventually start my own company producing physical products for my niche interests. It's not that I'm desperate for a career now, but if I'm honest, although I'm in a great financial place, I'm surrounded by sociopaths and have always seen my work as a means to an end. I want to take care of those around me and find something fulfilling to do. Also, probably go on an insane Southeast Asia blowout party with the boys. Use your worst imagination and double that. Story 34. Purchase my brother and their spouse, as well as my parents, a house. Give them each $5 million to use as they please. Buy my family a home. Invest in the kids' future. Work in what I actually want to do. Invest the rest. Story 35. Pay off debts of my closest friends and family members. Put aside a fund for mom and dad's side of the family, an emergency fund in case someone has medical expenses, loses their job, or something similar. Buy myself a pourvoirie, which is basically a giant stretch of land with cabins, lakes, and dirt roads up in northern Quebec. A couple of 100 acres with a few small lakes, with mixed species in said lakes. Build myself a very nice house on my favorite lake, a couple of guest houses, and cottages on the other lakes. I'd probably do some guided fishing or hunting on the property for a few people, friends and family type of thing. Maybe open it to the public on a limited basis with a waiting list type of system. Obviously buy a few toys, put the rest into savings, and make anonymous big splashy donations when I see causes I want to donate to. Do some trips around the world once or twice a year to places like Alaska, Africa, Australia, the tropics. Some fishing here and there. Story 36. I think I would largely keep it a secret. Pay off my student debt, own my own home, and buy a car I desire for once. Have a long discussion with a well-paid financial advisor on how much I would really want to stash away for a good life. I would set aside $1 million in a trust for each child that would be given at age 30, late enough that they would have enough maturity and life direction that it wouldn't be a problem. From there, I think I would invest some towards a business I want to open and see if I have what it takes to get something like that off the ground. Fund some real things I never thought I would own, like a seasonal residence with money I truly worked for. I suppose that leaves me with more than $250 million still. In that regard, I think I would make a goal annually of directing some funds to a charity I believe in and a political cause, with the goal of having it all gone before I'm gone.